like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners Workshop Meeting for January 8, 2025. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Lestracco.
Here.
Commissioner Partha.
Here.
And I'd ask our Assistant Township Manager, Scott Hutt, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Jumping right in, is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Rogers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Partha. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. We can move forward. Citizens' comments, citizen comments. Ray, anything? Not yet? He's working on it?
Still early.
Yeah. But these are only on agenda items, so you have your time later on. So, all right, seeing no one else, not only not going to the podium nor here, I think we'll move on to the consent items. Is there a motion to move the consent items into the record?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lestracco. Those items include the police report for the month of December, the Hatfield Volunteer Fire Company 2024 performance report, and the Calmer Volunteer Fire Company 2024 performance report. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. We're going to jump right into our committee reports. Planning and Zoning Committee, Vice President Rogers.
Okay, we have one item for tonight. It's the zoning amendment for EV charging stations.
Thanks, Mr. Vice President. We're going to have Scott Hutt give a little summary on what we're looking to do here.
It was previously governed by the electrical code, which is why we needed to draft an ordinance to regulate EV charging stations. Adopting this gives us power to regulate and enact some safety measures. It's not the same as what we did the other year, which was the lithium-ion storage battery ordinance, which kind of related to car dealerships. And this does not regulate home charging systems. This is all non-residential and multifamily properties. It excludes those within this ordinance. Since they're becoming more common throughout the township, seeing more within land development projects such as apartment complexes and convenience stores, Wawa, Sheetz, they all have them. This overall goal is for safety. Due to the heat these fires burn at, we need to ensure safety is placed within the locations and it minimizes the opportunity for major damages or it just spreading throughout other locations. So this is the first step towards regulating EV charging stations.
Okay, so this is something that we move to the next meeting for approval?
Yep.
And not only discussion tonight, Ray, if you have anything, but also discussion at our next meeting when we bring it to a decision, to a vote?
Yep,
Okay.
So this is not for private dwellings, R1,
correct.
only multi-unit developments,
Not
not multi-unit.
non-residential or
Non-residential.
multifamily dwelling units.
So apartment complexes
That is,
is
yeah.
included.
Mhm.
And like Wawa's or other stations.
Commercial, yeah.
Commercial, and that's, I guess the purpose of the ordinance is to make sure those stations far enough away from a
Correct.
structure to avoid any spreading of a fire.
Structures, also, I believe, trees, landscaping,
Okay.
pretty much put them out so they're kind of on an island without impacting everything else around it. Our charging stations are compliant with this.
Okay. Are we copying someone's ordinance or developing one?
Upper Marion started it. We had our fire marshal take a look at it and zoning officer, and that's where we kind of tweaked it to meet our needs, not, we don't have them all or something.
Great.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there any, what is the measurement from the, it has to be from the different from the structure, so,
From the structure,
yeah, like from the building,
25 feet. It's 20 feet building and structures. And yes,
20 feet from the structure, and the same with this like property line as well as, is there any, from 20 feet from property line as well?
it does not have that. Utility poles are a big one, means of egress and ingress.
Yeah, okay.
Our fire marshal took a look at it already.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, then I'll look by way of consensus. Everyone good moving this to our next meeting for a vote? Yep, okay, we'll do
We'll
that.
need a motion to advertise
Oh, okay.
ordinance.
So let's do that. Let's take a motion to advertise the zoning amendment with regard to the EV charging stations. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Partha. Any questions or comments? And for anyone who's watching, this is not a vote on the amendment. This is a vote to allow us to publicize it so that it can then be voted on at our next meeting.
That is correct.
So, all right, any other questions or comments?
There's enough duration between now and 14 days from now to do that?
Yeah, it's 2 successive weeks, 5 days apart.
So we'll meet that requirement then?
Get it advertised.
Okay.
Okay. All right, with that, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved.
That's it tonight for planning and zoning. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to Public Works Committee.
Thanks, Mr. President. We just have one item to go over, and it's a capital purchase budgeted in 2024. It was just inventory was light, and we're just taking delivery of this purchase. It's a pickup truck for our Public Works Department, budgeted in 24, GMC Sierra. Any purchase above a certain threshold, our auditor likes to take it out of the list of bills and put it as a standalone to get approved separately. So that's what this is. So considered a housekeeping item. And approval of a purchase for our Public Works team, who had a busy week, by the way, and did a great job.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
really did. Yep, so please tell them we said thank you.
Will do. Thanks.
All right, any questions or comments with regard to that? So we can take that as a motion now, right? We can do that as a motion now. We don't-
Sure. Yeah, you
we-
can.
We don't, there's no advertisement necessary. on
Correct.
that,
Right. You could do a motion to approve that purchase now
Yep.
if you'd like.
If everyone's comfortable with that, we'll do that motion. All
Yeah.
right, is there a motion by Commissioner Andrus? Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner by Vice President Rogers, and the motion is for approval of the capital purchase for the GMC truck as budgeted in 2024. With that, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved as well. Okay, anything else under Public Works?
Just one thing, Mr. President, I think we should push it to February because we do have to send it to the County Planning Commission. That's 30 days. So for the February meeting,
So for
The zoning amendment.
the zoning amendment.
For the zoning amendment?
When you've been as commissioner for as long as I have.
Hopefully we could do it.
All right, so we did that by way of consensus, so it wouldn't sound like we have to change the motion, so
Nope.
that's good.
We're fine.
And so that'll be moved to the February meeting. All right, we're going to go to Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Lestracco.
Thank you, President Zippel. Okay. I just want to go over holiday lights competition. Many of you have probably seen this on Facebook. Hatfield was filled with lots of decoration and holiday cheer in 2024. All of our holiday lights contestants did a great job, so thank you. And we want to say congratulations to the most colorful. That was 1526 West Lane. The most creative winner is from 151 Thomas Penn Avenue. The most traditional classic winner is 63 and 65 Cherry Street. And then the People's Choice winner is 2017 School Road. And then I want to go over the Get Fit classes. And so for winter fitness workouts, we have Zumba, Sundays 9 a.m. Winter session is January 26th through March 9th with no class on February 16th. Our spring session for Zumba is March 30th to May 11th with no class on April 20th. The remix class is Mondays, 7 p.m. Winter session will be January 27th to March 10th, and spring session, March 31st to May 12th. And then also yoga will be Thursdays, 7 p.m. Winter session is February 27th through March 13th, and spring session, April 3rd to May 8th. Please check that out on our website, www.hatfield.org. And remember, all of our classes are here at the Township Administration Building. And the prices may vary, so check that out as well online. Thank you, President Zippel.
All right. We're going to go right to Public Safety Committee. Commissioner Partha.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll ask Chief. Do you have anything?
That's it, we're going right to me.
Right to you.
So we recently had a civil service meeting, And that's to do some housekeeping on our regulations as they stand now. So as our current regulations are, in order to be a sergeant, you have to be a corporal for 3 years first. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, we made a change where we moved all the corporals up to sergeant. So we no longer have anybody in the corporal role. So in meeting with the civil service, we figured the best thing to do, that way we can keep the corporal position open if it ever comes back in the future, is to add in a sentence basically saying you have to be an officer for 5 years. So it would be a corporal or an officer for 5 years. And we currently have an open sergeant's position, so this is kind of timely that we do this now.
So this is approved by civil service already? Or
Was.
given a recommendation? Or
Recommendation.
do we need to act on it?
The board does, and you could act on it. I think let's wait until the regular meeting, because I just want to make sure it's worded correctly.
Okay.
This was simply just a discussion as an update, but it was recommended by Civil Service Commission, but the board has to make final action in order to formally amend the rules and regs of the Civil Service Commission, is how the code is written. So if everyone is comfortable, we'll have it on the agenda of the regular meeting for action.
Yeah, let's put it on the next agenda, and Chief, I'm assuming, based on your presentation, that you're supportive of this.
Yeah, and this is one of those things, in the civil service, when you change something, it kind of expands on down the line where you don't realize something may be affected in the future. This kind of came up sooner than what anyone was ever thinking about, so that's why we're here now.
In the production business, we call that an unintended consequence.
Now, there's a lot of that.
All right, well, again, if unless there's someone has an objection, we'll move that to the next meeting for action. Okay, Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrus.
Thank you. We're only 8 days into the new year, but we have some good news regarding the finances from '24. Our Finance Director, Dave Bernhauser, has been closing the books for last year as he prepares for the upcoming audits. Out of $13 million general fund, the township expenses were slightly over what was budgeted by $40,000, which represents less than 1%. In addition, the final revenue for the year was roughly $200,000 over what was budgeted. If I do the quick math, that's about 5%, because it wasn't included in here. Just point that out, Aaron. Thanks to our department heads for closely managing their respective budgets for the year. Some expenses are impossible to control, such as weather events or police-related matters, but the Hatfield team has done a great job when they do have more control over those other situations. So thank you very much. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you. All right. We're going to jump right to the Township Manager's Report. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. President. By the way, Chief's New Year's resolution was to speak more at all of our meetings. He had said
Agreed.
so.
And I already failed with that. I'm going to drop that as of
We'll make sure we incorporate you in each meeting, Chief.
We're gonna take a motion on that at the next meeting as well. It will be approved, I suspect, by the way.
How about PowerPoint presentations?
I think that's fair.
We'll get to this year first.
It's a good suggestion. Speaking of PowerPoint presentations,
Oh, boy, here we go.
and Mr. Newberry, yes,
have
we are kicking
another
the year off.
PowerPoint.
Just
There
just
it
some
is.
just some pictures to help us understand where we are with these projects. Nothing extensive, but the first item was a police station project. This was on New Year's Day, and thanks to our detective, Ryan Saunders, he goes out every week with our drone and takes updated pictures for us weekly. So I'm sure he'll be doing it again this week, but that was New Year's, so I think even since then, they've made some progress, right, Chief?
Yeah, the whole roof is done now.
Right.
So all the structures that'll be at this location are framed, I guess, and just about under roof? Is that about right?
Chief, is everything under roof at this point?
Yeah, the only thing that you don't see that they haven't begun on yet, which isn't on the roof, is the piers for the solar panels on the
Okay.
lot on the side.
Got it.
There.
All right.
That should be
Everything
here.
else, as you see, is pretty much as it will end up.
Wow.
And thankfully, with the timing, all the concrete has been poured.
Yeah.
Obviously, the weather turned on us.
Right.
We met with the contractors on Monday. They're going to bring in heaters, and they're going to work throughout the winter. Thankfully, we were able to meet those timelines, or else it would have just sat for months. So good news. Oh, not sure what happened there, but just some more pictures of the site. Everybody, I'm sure, drives by there often, and we'll have to get the commissioners out there. Not sure what's happening here. Off to a good start this new year. But police station project moving along nicely.
The guy in the back room is playing with you.
Yeah.
Thanks, so.
Can you go
Justin-
back to that
Justin's
photo,
messing
Aaron?
with me.
See
Sure.
that door-
Aerial?
doorway? No, the other one.
This one?
Yep, see the door jam right there?
Yep.
That's the door jam that leads into where my office is, just so you know.
It's so huge, they couldn't even put a wall back there.
It's actually the back door.
Well, it's, myself and the lieutenants are both in, or all three of us are in the same area, so, but that's what it leads into.
All right.
Chief, we actually have a change order tonight. We're taking Chief's office out. That's for action tonight.
Approved.
That's Aaron's door, we're laying on the ground there on the right.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. But project's coming along. Great progress. Doing a great job. We have not had any change orders actually at this point yet of the project, so things are going smoothly and as planned. So continue to watch that, and a lot of questions from the community as they drive by. There's still a rumor that that's actually going to be a Wawa. So the amount of times we talk about this, people are still not entirely sure what's happening out there, but I think the signage makes it pretty clear. I'm not sure what's happening here. We're going to fix this. Dunkin' Donuts, maybe.
There will be one of them.
That's too easy. Next project that we're working on, there's a few others that I don't have illustrations for. Let me at least go order. So Clemens Park, which is another major improvement that the commissioners have been working on for a while now, is coming along as well. Waiting on the bathroom delivery. That is where that stands. We talked to the vendor this week, and we hope that, like everything, it's delayed for whatever reason, but we still anticipate a full opening of the park in May. Which we will talk about, and Commissioner Lestracco will talk about an event that Ashley is planning that we're all going to be part of for a ribbon cutting in May-ish timeframe. Bathrooms should be delivered, and then we have some final grading, some other work to be, some landscaping, some fencing, things like that. But that's coming along. Playground is done. I know there were some kids playing on it when the weather was nicer. Right now, it's not the best time to play. So one of our goals for the off season is we are going to just create with some fencing to create a safe environment. So it's fine if kids are playing on the playground. We just want to make sure they're not wandering off around all the other construction site areas. So we're going to work on that over the next week.
I assume that bathroom's a modular unit?
Correct.
Okay.
Saves significant amount of money. It's just going to show up and get dropped in, and the plumber comes out, and it's game on for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, simple.
Aaron, isn't it what was done at School Road Park?
We did not use that.
Didn't use that one?
No, we went with a completely modular product that literally gets craned in and dropped in.
I thought that was modular as well. That's what got me thinking.
I don't think that one. That was before my time, so I don't have the specifics, but I know you guys were involved. But I think this one, little more simple, little less expensive, and
Nice.
yeah. Mr. Newberry, probably here for this next item. Happy in your new home? Are you happy in your new home? You're still in Hatfield, right? Yeah. Right, stayed in Hatfield? Okay. On Maple. It's a good people on
good street
Maple.
to live on.
A few troublemakers, but for the most part, good people on Maple. So just an update to the. Understood. Just a quick update, and really, Commissioner Lestracco has been very involved in this project as well. And the delay is we're waiting on PICO to come out and do the final disconnection of the electric. And we requested it to be disconnected in August, and we're just waiting. So as of this morning, our demo contractor thinks they have an alternative solution that we just need to get approved by PICO. So I appreciate the patience of the neighbors. There's certainly eyesores at this point after our fires and volunteer firemen and our police officers, and we've had so much training out there that, I mean, they beat up the houses. They're pretty beat up. They're ready to go. Is that right? Yeah, we'll make sure he gets taken care of. All right.
I think he's at my house now, to be honest. I think he moved.
Okay. He's back. Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, we will, hopefully the demo contractor will be out there, we think in the coming weeks, but once that happens, then we work on the final grading, and that project is put to bed. Rick, if you do have a question, it would be better if you could go, do we want to do that now, or wait if you go to the microphone just so people could hear?
Do you have a question or comment about the about this item, or is it something else?
It's about the demolition, yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you come up to the, yep.
Well, the question I was going to ask was, can I get permission? There's a very, very large tree from the neighbor's property that has collapsed down behind the house. So somebody's going to have to cut it up. And I thought, well, if it was so old and so fragile that the wind blew it over, it would make good firewood. So if there's no objection by anyone,
Sir, that's a private matter. It's not for the township to make a determination on
well,
whether
your
or not.
township owns it,
yeah.
so.
But why don't we'll talk about it. We've never had that request before, but why don't, right after this meeting, let us
That's fine.
have a
Okay.
quick conversation with the township manager, and then
Thank you.
we'll certainly let you know.
Okay.
Okay,
He was
great.
talking about his new house.
Old house. I think we can work something out, Rick. Next item, update just on this is the EV theme tonight, and I apologize for the blinking. I don't know what's happening. We will fix that. EV themed evening tonight. The township has installed an EV charger at School Road Park, thanks to the commissioners and the investment in creating a green fueling station for our community, which is in this location of the park. It's installed, but not completely open yet to the public. Scott, I don't know if you wanted to give just a quick, Scott did a great job in this project, setting it up for us and working with our installer and the manufacturer. And I believe, Scott, if you just want to talk quickly about, we're looking at a few months maybe just to finalize the software and finish some of the electrical work.
Finalizing the software, electrical work is pretty much done, to sign off on the permit shortly. This School Road Park Level 2 charging station, like I said, we are in compliance with our own ordinance, so that's a good thing. And also a similar one, just like this, going to be at Clemens Park as well. So once we open the park, that one will be, electrical work's already pretty much done. They're going to pop that in and both of them be ready to go. EAC was great in supporting this, just as well as the board has. Thank you.
And these will turn off at park closing hours, not,
We can determine what we want to do.
Completely
with that.
customizable. So since our park is dusk to dawn, we thought it would be prudent to turn it off outside of those hours.
Yeah,
Great,
that
thank
doesn't.
They only take credit cards, correct?
Yes.
And do they recommend how much you charge, or do we charge by
Yes.
what our electrical rate is, or how do we?
They have recommended rates. We're not in it to make money. We just don't want to lose money. So we'll advertise the rate on our platform.
It will be market-based, and I think it makes sense to have some type of surcharge to recoup the costs from the
Yeah.
taxpayers to put it in.
Software.
Yep,
Yep.
for sure.
thank you.
So thanks, Commissioner, for your commitment. And again, this came about because of some requests from some residents over the years, and we were able to get that in. Like Scott said, Clemens Park and the police station is being wired for EV chargers for our own fleet someday, as well as for the public if needed. We're not going to install anything at this time, but everything is wired and ready if we would like to. We understand at some point, we'd imagine our police fleet will be electric, but we'll be prepared for it when that day comes.
It'll be the supercharged, right? Or the regular charge?
Level 2.
Level 2. So how
Yeah,
many
level-
levels? 3?
There's 3 levels. 3 is the super. 1 is the residential. This is a 2. There's a significant cost jump when you go to a 3.
Okay.
So this is a level 2. And there's 2 ports, so that serves 2 vehicles.
Real quick question. What if someone were to go and pull the charger out of someone else's car and try to charge their own?
No, you cannot pull it.
You can't?
You can?
I'm asking.
No, I don't think so. This is locked. Whenever it's connected, I think it's got locked.
Someone's got to be able, the owner's got to be able to pull it out. And I guess my question is, if
I
somebody
think-
were to pull it out, does it automatically stop the charge?
I think that's what I just,
Yeah.
from my personal experience with my wife has an electric vehicle, when you pull it out, that's the end of the transaction.
Okay.
So you'd have to swipe again to
Somebody
start
can't go in
anew.
and try to steal, right? They can, once it's out, the charge stops.
Someone may still try to do that.
But they won't be able to charge
But
us.
I don't think they'll be able to do that, and we'll make sure of that. And, yeah, still probably don't recommend people leaving their vehicle while they're charging.
And when we turn it off, they're locked into the station. Like right now, it's not active, so they're locked into the ports.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And just lastly, Commissioners, we have a few volunteer board appointments to be made. It's January, not a reorganization month for Hatfield. It is for many of the second-class townships in the area. You probably see some news about those meetings, but first-class townships only reorganize on the even years after an election. So we will have some board appointments to be made, and they'll be on the agenda on the 22nd, and we'll work those out with the commissioners, and we'll have those publicly appointed at the next meeting. That's all I have for tonight, Commissioners.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, Solicitors report.
Nothing to report. Happy New Year to everyone.
Always good to hear. Thank you. Happy New Year. Citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? All right, hearing none, then we had a pretty quick meeting tonight. Not bad for our first meeting of the year. Any questions or comments from the commissioners or from residents? Hearing none, then I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I think everyone made a motion. No, it's the Vice President Rogers made the motion, Commissioner Lestracco made the second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned, folks. Have a great night. Thank you very much.